So we're in the hotel in Bangladesh, in Dhaka, Bangladesh. And about an hour ago, President Trump announced the travel ban from Europe to the United States because of the coronavirus. We're not in Europe, but the question is how far behind is Asia? So we're supposed to be getting on a plane right now to go to Nepal and do this really amazing hike up near Mount Everest and see some people groups that are really in some desperate need. But neither one of us can stay in this country or Nepal for an extra 30 days should a travel ban happen. So the world is going just absolutely crazy over this. And right now we're trying to decide whether we get on an airplane and head home or head to Nepal. And you can see Greg's kind of working on that right now. So it's a little noisy over here, and I think Greg's just trying to play it cool. He's the boss of a very large world organization, and this isn't something he wants to miss. He's got guys coming in from all over the world to meet with them, and I think he's a little bummed about it. So we're just kind of figuring out what's going on. So have you figured anything out yet?
Not yet.
Not yet. How are you feeling right now?
I want to go to Nepal like crazy.
Yeah.
It's killing me. Killing me. So, yeah, we'll have to...
I feel the same way.
Trying to get the flights out, changed. This travel ban to Europe has caught everybody's attention, game changer. So, probably the wise thing to do is to bypass a week in Nepal because a lot of things are going to be happening. So, unfortunately.
Have you ever had to do this before?
Never.
How long have you been doing this?
22 years.
Oh, first time in 22 years.
First time in 22 years, yeah.
I'm rushing to the airport, trying to get to Kathmandu.
Leaving me behind.
Yeah, I'm leaving Rusty behind. Love you, man.
What now?
I'm going to go to Kathmandu because otherwise I'll be here a day and it doesn't matter whether I'm here or Kathmandu. And once we're there, we got guys coming in from all over the place, and then we'll make a decision there on what
So
we're
you're just
do.
going to leave me in Bangladesh all by myself?
Your Bengali's gotten a lot better since we got here,
Uh-huh.
so I have a lot of confidence in you, brother.
All right.
Love you, man.
Bye. Okay. I have no new itinerary. He's going to Kathmandu without me, and I'm in Bangladesh all by myself. Okay. Thanks, coronavirus.
Gives us the model for reaching the ends of the earth. So I'm in Burma right now. The island of Bali is absolutely spectacular. We are in Cambodia here. This is a beautiful family that lives in a village that we've done distributions with. In the Great Commission, let's remember Jesus said, "Go and make disciples of all nations." And for us at World Mission, it's really important that the Word of God be a part of that. I mean, how can you really become a disciple if you don't have access to the Word of God? We are in Kor, the middle of Rendili land, and all these brothers are Rendili pastors. So are you guys happy about these units?
Yes.
All right. Cambodia is an amazing country. It's surrounded by Laos, Vietnam, and Thailand. And the 16 million people that live here, they say about 85% are Buddhists, and many of them have never heard the gospel for the first time.
All right, so Greg, last time I saw you, we were splitting up at the last second. They were closing down the world. Trump had just said we're closing down Europe. I'm looking at my watch going, I think they may close down America. And you said, I'm going to Nepal. And then all of a sudden you're getting a cab and I'm by myself in Bangladesh. How are you doing? What's going on there?
It's amazing, Rusty, just the news that has come out and just how quickly things are changing. I think, at the last minute, we made the decision to come to Nepal because I heard that one of our main guys had already arrived and gotten there, had no issues. And so we felt safe enough getting into Nepal. And I think, you and I were just working on, there was rapid fire information that was being released. I mean, when we were sitting there in Bangladesh, it was the travel shut down from Europe. It was India was not allowing anyone to come into their country, which of course neighbors Nepal. And we were getting all kinds of things about different famous people being infected. So it was just hard. I think we were making decisions with about, 10% of the information and, trying to avoid being locked out of our country for a month, which at that time seemed like it wasn't far-fetched. So, but I am at the end of the day.
So
I'm
now,
really glad
I look like I'm a wuss. Now it looks like I'm a wuss, and the part of the trip I really wanted to do. I mean, Bangladesh was interesting, but I wanted to do the Nepal stuff, and I missed it.
Yeah.
And did I miss much?
But we've got amazing pictures, and the guys, Rusty was the talk of the day. Everybody missed Rusty and loved. So the point is that you have an invitation, a standing invitation to come back here to Nepal. So we're going to make that happen. But it was still very difficult. You and I, we talked about the preparations for the trek, and although we drove up a fair amount of the hill, still we did the last basically half hour was 1,000 feet vertical, starting at 9,000 feet. So it was still incredibly difficult and strenuous, but it was fun accomplishment for our India guys to have, something they'll never experience the rest of their life.
Well, I'm definitely a little jelly out here, but I was able to get food for my family. Greg, when you get here, you're not going to believe it. Grocery stores are empty. I never seen anything like it. They're closing everything. It's nuts. But you're out there doing, the literally the Lord's work. We saw a lot of things in Bangladesh. What's different between Bangladesh and Nepal other than the hike?
Yeah, I think, it's just a lot cleaner. When you're in Bangladesh, the sanitation it's just one of the worst places from a big city standpoint in the world. And the air you're breathing, you feel like you're breathing in toxins with every breath. Nepal, because you're at such a higher elevation, it's a lot cleaner here. Just the scenery is different. They take a lot more pride in the sanitation. So although Kathmandu is a major city in Asia, I think there's more of a recognition of tourism is massive here. So there's a cleanliness about it that's different. But it's still, this is an area that still between Nepal and India, Rusty, has the highest concentration of unreached people groups of anywhere in the world. So that's why we're here, really, as we brought our India guys to Nepal to do some strategic planning for the next 10 years. So it's been really good. I think Nepal was a great choice for us to come and bring our India guys into the mountains and just kind of a retreat thing. You think about people go on a retreat or they go camping. The idea is you get away from your normal routine. And we've literally been off the grid for several days now. I'm just now back in Kathmandu, so I can speak with you.
So, did you one of the things on the huge giant book-like list of packing supplies that I spent thousands of dollars with and then didn't get to use, one of them was only 2 pair of underwear. Did you clear through both of those?
Absolutely. No problem. No problem. Little self-washing needed, but we made it. We made it.
Now, when I think of the Bangladesh trip, and when you come back, we're going to talk about both of these, but I think the one thing that really stands out in my mind was the village where you saw the outhouse that leaked into the pond, and then the cows are washing themselves in the pond, and then mom's out there washing the dishes in the same water, and then that's the water they're getting their drinking water from. Was there anything like that in Nepal?
No, nothing like that. So the mountains, the water's not as big of an issue, although it's a little bit misleading and deceptive because even when we were here, the day before we did the summit, there was a big snowstorm. So we were hiking up through lots of ice and snow. It made it a lot more difficult, but all that melts and then it makes its way down into Kathmandu. So you've got all this fresh water, and when you're up there in the mountains, it looks really clean. But the further down it goes, as it goes through this village and that village, and the people, there's the different things that we saw in Bangladesh, not at that level going on. But when it gets down into the valley, it's all filled with bacteria and parasites. And people still have water issues here, but because it looks cleaner, it's a little deceptive. And so water filters are still needed here. And we've done a lot of water filter distributions here in Nepal as well. And we have lots of water projects going on. But it's a totally different deal than what we saw in Bangladesh.
Okay. And of course, you got the treasures out to a lot of people there. And how was the reaction to the treasures there?
It's been great. It's mainly in the Nepali language. So most of Nepal, north, south, east, west, is speaking Nepali. There's a few other minority languages. It's very different than India. With India, you could go a couple hours away and you pass through 3 different languages. So you have to be prepared in India to distribute all kinds of. We probably distribute in India upwards of 50 different languages, whereas here in Nepal, we can get away with distributing primarily just one language, which is Nepali. So, but the people love it. Rusty, we have seen 37 churches planted in like the last 3 years here in Nepal, just through treasure listening groups. So I had the opportunity to preach in one on this past Sunday, and it was one of the great privileges that I've had in my 22 years at World Mission. I mean, you always hear the impact of the treasure and people being encouraged, listening to the Word of God. But when you're standing inside of a church that was planted because of a treasure listening groups, wow, man, it was humbling. It was super awesome.
Wow. Well, it sounds like an amazing journey. The whole thing has been amazing. And then I'm guessing you've never had to deal with these travel restrictions before. I mean, I can't remember other than 9/11. We haven't anything like this in my lifetime.
I was just kind of putting a newsletter together, just an update to people. And I said, in my 22 years serving here at World Mission, this definitely stands alone as, the most unique trip. A lot of fruit, a lot of good things going on. But when you and I left, it was just kind of the rumblings of the impact of the coronavirus were starting to come out. And there really wasn't an indication that it was going to be as widespread as it's become. And so, it's just crazy, the impact of these last 2 weeks being here. Am I going to be able to get home? Am I going to have to be quarantined? Can I leave Nepal? I mean, all those things are going through your head. And, I think a lot of the news gets amped up and sort of, there's just more of a just a crisis element to it and how it's conveyed, which really creates all the more anxiety, So I think here's the biggest takeaway for me, Rusty, is that as this coronavirus has disrupted our worlds, especially in the West, the guys that we work with deal with crisis, different kinds, on a daily basis. And so, yeah, they're properly responding to Corona. No one's taking it lightly by any stretch. But it just reminds me, this is their daily world, a barrier to the gospel, if you will, that is very real, that they deal with regularly.
Right. Let me tell you what it was like for me coming back into the country. Everybody was freaking out, and I had to go through New York, which they were closing down. And it was, so here's your passport, Mr. Humphries. That's good. Any flu-like symptoms? No. Okay, welcome to America. Nope. That's all it was. So come on in, everybody.
Yeah.
Hopefully that's what it's going to be for you. But again, that's been another week. So I don't know, bud. You may be there for a while. Are you worried?
Well, yeah. I mean, there's definitely, anxieties. And I talk to my wife and, my family, and they've got a lot of nerve. I think how the news gets reported has accentuated the anxieties. And we're a bit insulated from it here. So again, we're not taking it lightly. We know it's real, but I think in some ways we have the benefit of being away from it. And, life is kind of going on as normal around here. People are wearing masks, of course, but other than that, it's kind of life as normal over here. Nepal really hasn't been infected to the level of some of the neighboring countries. Maybe partly because of the mountains, partly because of the tourism. And a lot of people just have not been coming. This is high season of travel. And I think a lot of people have canceled their plans to come here. So, we try and walk by faith and trust in the Lord, but also there's the realm of the reality that you have to, be responsible and conscientious of.
Well, there were far more masks and things in Bangladesh than I've seen in the U.S., in Phoenix.
Yeah.
Excuse me, they're shutting stuff down. That is not the death virus. That was a cough. Sorry. But I think you're going to be okay as long as you guys have toilet paper, and you don't need a lot more food. You should be okay.
That's what I'm hearing.
When you get
run on toilet paper, it's a good time to invest in toilet paper stock right now.
All right. So this is kind of going to be, we're kind of doing this out of order now. This is kind of breaking news. And so we're going to I think we're going to put this in as a bonus episode for you to watch. And next week, you will see the trip begin in Bangladesh and what happened there. So I just wanted to get everybody knowing that I got home safe. Everything is okay. It was 36 hours flight back, though, man. That was awful.
Wow. Was your flight full?
I got lucky. I didn't have to sit next to anybody on the long stuff, so that was okay. But yeah, they're packed. I mean, everybody's getting out of town wherever they're at. So you were thinking, on the way over, Greg got a whole aisle to himself. He was lounging, sleeping. It's like he was in first class, and I'm like, being squeezed next to a family with not one screaming kid, but two.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're kind of leaving out the part of you were serenaded beautifully by a couple of children. You forgot to mention that.
Yeah, that's the way to serenade. That's what it was. That's the word. Anyway, well, be safe. Be careful. We're praying for you.
Brother.
Great job. And I just want to I'm going to say this to your face. I want everybody to know, guys, what he does is really, really hard. Okay, I'm telling you, Bangladesh, I've been a lot of places in the world, and I've been to some not very nice places. And I can usually I go out of the hotel, and I love walking around and seeing the city for myself. Not in Nepal or in shitty Bang Bang. I went outside for like 5 minutes and went, ooh, man, this is nasty. I got to go. So what Greg is doing and bringing the gospel to these people that they just have no idea. And they're so open. And the people that we met were wonderful people who've been through such horrible times. And Greg comes in with his medicine and then shows them this magical device that cleans the water right in front of you. And he drinks the water, which, by the way, I couldn't do it, but he did. And it's life-changing, and it's amazing. And then they can't wait to see what's on that treasure, and it has a flashlight on it, and it's just awesome. So if you would please, I've been there. I've seen it. And by the way, one more thing, they're not blowing your money. I promise you. We went to this one hotel. I'm going to tell the story one more time, Greg. So we go to this one hotel, and we drove like 8 hours to get to this place. And it was a long day. We're finally there. And on the outside, it says one thing in English, kindergarten. Well, that's odd. I wonder if there's like a kindergarten in the hotel or something. So we go into the hotel, and no, it's not a hotel. It's a kindergarten that they turn into a hotel, I guess, on occasion. So we haul the stuff up, and I get into my room, and it's like, I close it. I don't want to talk to anybody anymore. I'm done, right? So I lay down, and I try to close the window, and I can't, and it's just swarming with mosquitoes, just waiting to give me the malaria, right? It's just wanting to kill me. And then they knock on my door. Yes. Hey, Rusty, Jimmy, one of our Bangladesh guys, is going to share the room with you. I'm out. At that point, I'm out. And I went, and I'm not proud of this, but I said, I got Orbits. There's a hotel down the street. I will see you guys tomorrow. And I mean, they're not blowing your money, folks. That was probably a $3 a night hotel. Okay, and that's the kind of stuff these guys are doing. $5, and it's torture. I could not do his job, and I promise you probably couldn't do his job either. So please help Greg and the folks at World Mission by donating to WorldMission.cc. Greg, wrap it up for me. I had to let people know what you're doing out there.
This coronavirus is really, it's affecting everything. Obviously, over here we're getting more emergency appeals from our national partners and how they're being affected. It's affecting our office staff in Grand Rapids, Michigan. So yeah, I mean, if people, we want to educate you, we want to encourage you. We're bringing you, the stories of what are going on from the field. pray for World Mission. But yeah, if you can, just right now would be a wonderful time if you could just give us a special gift just to help the ministry so we can continue reaching into these important areas that need to hear the gospel. So thanks for being with us, and share this. Please share this episode with people. We're coming to you right from the field, friends, and we can't be here without you. So thanks for everything.
All right, everybody. Next week, we will show you the trip starting in Bangladesh, and it'll give Greg some time to get home. But I want to thank you very much. Again, please, please, please go to WorldMission.cc and donate. We sure appreciate you. May God bless you. I'm Rusty Humphries. He is Greg Kelley, the CEO of World Mission. God bless you, Greg. You're a good man. We'll see you next time here on the Great Commission Update.